Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are staying safe. Today we're going to be working on part 2 of our entertainment app. In part 1 we were able to build out this banner component. It's a server component, so we're able to build that out. And I remember stating that we were going to be able to click this image and have the banner show up and have the modal open up. That's going to show you more information about it. However, I decided against that because here, like I said, we have this server component. If I was to do that, I would have to use state hooks, and then this becomes a client component. So rather than doing that, I'm just gonna, let's go to our original project. I'm just gonna build it the same way and have the data here be the one that has the modal that pops up. So that way we can have the client component separate from, we can have one server component here that shows how server components work, and then the rest of them could be client components, so you can understand how those work too. So that way there's the differentiation in the two different types of components that we can have. So with all that said, let's pop back into our project and let's keep working. All right, so here, just a quick note, the only thing I did change here was I believe in the last one, in part 1, I said width full, height full. So I just changed height to 100 view height, and then the div here, the div class name, if there is a movie, I just changed that to height full. So that's pretty much all we did here. We didn't really change anything else. So since we're done with banner here, that's cool. So what we want to do, if we look at the main one, is we now want to create this trending headline. So this headline navigation here, and we're going to be using material UI to do so. Oh, before I forget, so right here in nav, we're just going to change this h1 tag from location to for location to h2, and we're going to give it a class name of text 1.95. There we go. So we're just gonna do that, and then we can close out of that. And if we look at it now, as you can see, it's a lot smaller. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not the ideal navigation at all. This is just a quick project to show you how Next.js works. We're not going into the nitty-gritty of like CSS and making this look like the best website ever. It's just more of an exposure to the framework. Now, if you want to go ahead and recreate things based on the knowledge you already have, then that's completely fine as well. So now let's head over to our API. So I believe I explained this last time, what we're doing here. So we have API, we have the route. So within this API, we're going to create another. Within API, we're going to create a new folder. And this folder is going to be called trending. And within trending, we're going to have a new file, and this is going to be routes.js. And let's see, with trending. So let's start off with trending, right? So with our API, like we stated last time, this is basically us creating the API, the backend API, right? So here what we want to do in trending is we want to grab the information for trending. Now you could do this on the server component or within your client component, but it's a lot for this kind of rendering. It makes more sense to do it in the back end and then fetch it in the front end. So let's just go ahead and do that. So what I want to say to begin with is we're going to be using Axios. So import Axios from Axios. And we're using Axios here because typically we would use fetch because it's Next.js. But since we've already seen how fetch works, we want to go ahead and use Axios this time to also see how Axios would work. So from Axios. Cool. And then here we want to get our key. So we want to say const key is equal to process.env dot API key, right? And then now we could say export async function get And here we're going to be getting let's say const response is equal to await axios.get, and we're just going to grab our URL from our main project. So let's see, let's just grab it here just so I don't have to find this again. Let's call this trending response, I guess. Trending response. Awesome. And we're going to be using the trending category. So it's trending all week, and then our API key is going to be the key here. So in the first part, I explained how we would use how we would save our .env file, which stores our key. So that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so what's the error here? Blah blah. Axios.get.
Music licensing reimagined.
Hold up, what's the problem? Cool, there we go. All right, so we have that, and now we're going to be introducing next response. So we're going to say next. So let's return next response. There we go. .json. And our response is going to be let's take this out. So we're just going to say trending response.data. So this is going to be our response, right? So we're going to have trending response.data. However, we should have put this within a try catch. So let's take this. Oops. Let's take this out. Just cut that out and put that in there. And for catch, we're going to say console.log or console error. Yeah, console.log error is fine. And after doing so, now we can return next response here .json. And here we want to use an object, and this object is going to say error failed to fetch data. And I'm gonna have on here that states status. So the status code is gonna be 500. Cool. So we have that, and now we have our trend in here. So and this pertains to, if we go to our main project, we have trending, we have movie section, and then we have the TV section. So that's what we're going to be looking for. So for trending, we already have the API. So as you guessed it, we're going to be having new folder here, and this is going to be movies. Cool. And for movies, all we're going to do is we're just going to copy all this that we have in trending, and we're just going to place it in movies. So we have to have the routes.js here. And we're just going to paste this in here. So the only difference is this is going to be movie response. There we go. And we're going to change this to movie response. Cool. And for the API, I believe this, let's go over here and let's see for movies. Awesome. So the movies one's a little longer. So, let's just take this out and paste that in there. Cool. So for movies, let me see if I can make this a bit bigger so you guys could see it a little better. Let me know how the appearance looks. So if you guys need me to zoom in more, I can do that as well. Okay, and then let's shrink this a bit more and make this a bit bigger. Cool. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that better. I decided not to log into TMDB just because I already have all the APIs, but you can also find these within the API. I decided not to log into TMDB because I already have all the API endpoints or the requests within my project. So, but you guys can log into TMDB and get all these categories also. So here, we're going to be using discover/movie. We have the API key, and we want the language to be English US. We want to sort by popularity and dot description, and include adult. We don't want to include any adult movies, so it's going to be false, and include video equals false. So that's just standard. So we do that, everything else stays the same. We can now go ahead and just save that. That's all we're doing. Everything remains the same. So we can close out of movies, we can close out of trending, and this. So now we have location, movies. So within location, we don't really have anything major. So this is just a test, so don't worry about it. We'll come back later and fix that up. So we have location, we have movies, we have trending. Let's see if we can close this also to make things look better. So what else do we need? Now we need TV. So we can go ahead and within the API now, we can go ahead and just create a new folder, and this is going to be called TV. And for TV, we're going to new file, and we're going to state route.js. Cool. And it's going to be pretty much the same thing. We're just going to all right, so we got to get the rest of it. So we can go back to movies, and we just copy the whole thing. Okay, and then we'll just copy everything within movies. Whoops. Let's see. So since we're working on the back end, let's just make this all open. So let's copy that, and we'll go back to the UI later. So we can just paste this in here. And for TV, the only thing we're going to be changing once again is this, and we're going to call this TV response. We're going to call this TV response. And then if we come into here, we can go into TV, not search TV, just TV route. And we can just grab this. Cool. So the only thing we're changing here is here it says discover TV rather than discover movie, and everything else is the same. So we're just changing this from movie to TV, and that's it. So just like that, we've created our backend API routes. Yeah. Cancel. Let's go ahead and save this. Let's cancel that. Let's go ahead and save that. We can cancel it. Cool. So just like that, we've created everything we need for our headline nav. So before we go on, there's something I just remembered. So within our where is it? Within our banner.jsx, one thing I did go ahead and change was for fetch. Here I place cache to no cache because we want this rendered dynamically. So I just set this from cache to no cache, and since we're using fetch, if we didn't put that in there, it would automatically cache our data. So we don't want that. So we're just gonna put cache, no cache, and that's pretty much it. So within the API, so after you fetch the API, you put a comma, and then you open up a parentheses, or not parentheses, you open up a bracket, and you create an object. So you're going to say cache, no cache. So that's pretty much it. So that I just remembered, I had to let you guys know that. So now what we can do is within our where is it? Cool. So now within our component, we can create a new file and call it headline nav.jsx. Cool. And now you can take that headline nav and you can go to page.js for the app within the app folder. So you want to go to page.js, and then you want to go ahead and just place this in there. Headline nav. So if you come over to here, as you can see, it states it right there, headline nav. So now we're going to do some work on it. So let's just go ahead and minimize that. So once we're done minimizing it, then we can close it out and we can do some work. Okay, so another thing we're going to be doing is using Material UI. So let's just open this up. We're just going to go to Google and then we're going to type in Material UI. And let's just go to, that's fine. Let's just go in here and get started. So these are the components. Let's see. Navigation, pagination, tabs. There we go. So it's going to be within navigation, and you're going to go into tabs, and you're just going to find, just grab one of them. You can grab a basic one, doesn't really matter. Yeah, I believe I used one of these. It doesn't really matter which one you want to use. They're all basically the same thing. It's just if you want it colored, if you want it, it's completely up to you. So you can do the full width. It's up to you which one you pick. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the centered. So you go ahead and just expand this code, and you want to make sure it's JavaScript, since this isn't a TypeScript. Now if you are doing this in TypeScript, go ahead, but since this project is comprised of JavaScript, we're just going to click JavaScript, and then we want to go ahead and copy the source, and that's all we're doing here. So we'll close that out, minimize this, and we can actually just minimize it. And here, so let's do this first. We have this. So you want to import all this. This is all we're going to be using. Let's see. Let's go ahead and import a couple of other things. So we're going to be using use state and use effect. Cool. We're going to be using Axios. Awesome. And within components, we're going to be creating the movie component. We're going to be creating the TV component. And we're going to be creating the trend component. And the reason for this is, as you can see here, they're separate. These are all separate components. That's why we're doing that. So that's what we're trying to do here. So let's just go ahead and do this. So we have all these components, and now we can now import them. So import movie. There we go. Import TV. Import trending. Yep. So we're gonna need all that. Let's see, what else do we need? That's fine. So we just keep it this way. So we're just gonna add a couple of things in here. Okay, so before we go further, let's go back into Material UI. Don't worry about that error right now. So Google Material UI, and let's go back to navigation. Where is it? Components, navigation. There we go. And we're going to tabs. Cool. So we're missing just one thing. So let's see. Expand code. There we go. So so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna grab let's see, maybe there's another one that we can use. Let's expand this code. No. Let's see. Let's expand this code. Okay, so that's the problem. All right, so we're just gonna grab this. It's a lot easier for not that one. let's go over to the original. So just the one that says introduction. We're just gonna grab this. Yeah, let's grab this. So use this code instead. We can center this and whatever later. So sorry about that. Let's grab this code and then let's close. Yeah, let's close that. And let's head back into our code. So what I'm gonna do is comment all this out and then paste all this in. And the reason I did that is just so I can copy all this again. I don't have to do it all over again. Paste it, and now all this is gone. We don't need this anymore. Cool. And now we can do this. Awesome. So the reason we did that is because I need this this function. Sorry. So I need this function there. We can just call this function well, I was just gonna call it tab panel, but it's fine. You can just call it custom tab panel. It doesn't matter. It's fine regardless. So all this is good. Everything looks pretty good so far. Let me make sure. Let's see. Just want to make sure everything evens out, just in case we're having problems, because this is an external code. So let's see. Awesome. So, all right. Okay, that looks about right. That looks good. Okay. All right, so we're going to change this a bit. So we're going to say role is tab panel. That's fine. Hidden is fine. ID is fine. Area labeled by, we're going to have full width. So full width tab. And it's going to have index, and then we're fine. So that's pretty much it. And then for here, this is completely fine as well. We're just going to take out typography because I don't think it works well with Next.js. So cool. We're just going to take that out. We're going to take typography out here. Cool. So that's all we're taking out. And then let's see. Awesome. Okay, that's fine. We don't need this. Yep, we don't need that. Okay, so we don't need that. And then here, export default function. We don't need to call it that. We can just call it the same way it would be called with RAFCE. So we're just going to call it cons headline nav arrow function. Cool. And then here at the bottom, we're just going to export it. So export default headline nav. Now, don't get me wrong. We could have just changed that function to headline nav at the top, but I just want to keep it the same as every single one of them. So it looks like an RAFCE. It looks like what it would look like with RAFCE. So we just go ahead and minimize that and make this bigger. And then here at the top, because we're using use state and use effect hooks, so we're using these hooks, we have to make sure this is seen as a client component, unless it's going to render an error. So if we come over to this, okay, that's a problem. Ali prop is not defined within box tabs. I think we'll just delete that if we wanted to. Let's just make sure. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, we could just delete that. Tabs value on change, handle change, tab label. Yep, we could just take that out. Doesn't matter.
Artlist.io.
Yeah, things are a little different since we're using Material UI. I just have to make sure everything's the same, unless you could have you can have a tab that looks different from mine, depending on how we set it up. So just want to make sure everything looks the same as mine. Okay, so now that we have that, we don't really have to do much anymore. So since we have that, now we can bring in our state hooks. So here we want to say const trending data. And then, so as you can see now, this looks like something we're used to working with. So now it says set trending data is equal to use state, and we're just going to get back an empty array. First, we're going to have an empty array set first, and then const. Here, we're going to have loading and set loading. And here we're going to have use state, and this is going to be true. So initially we're going to be loading. Go. All right. Cool. So that's what we're going to have. Let me see something really quickly. I want to make sure of something. Okay, so we just go straight into the use effect, and that's fine. Awesome. So right before the handle change, we can just go right straight into the use effect. So we're going to say use effect. There are many ways of doing this, so I don't want to do it, set it up a different way. I just want to replicate what I have, so that way if there are questions, I have something to fall back on to see what's going on. So here we're going to have a try catch, and within the try catch, we're going to say const trending is equal to await axios.get. And here's the cool thing about having a framework. So now you can just say /API/trending, and that would let the framework know that, hey, we're talking about this API folder, so this /API, and we're talking about this trending route. So that's pretty cool. So we have that, and then we can say set trending data to equal, well, not equal, to be trending data result. Awesome. And then we can set loading here to false. And so the reason we're setting loading here to false is because here we've gathered the data. So here we have our data. So the loading is no longer true. We're no longer loading because we've gathered the data that we want. And then here, console.log, we're going to say error. And here we're going to say set loading. And this is also going to be false because we've gathered the error log. Here we can say fetch data. Awesome. So just like that, we're done fetching the data for trending. Now we can do the same thing for movies. So here we're going to say const movie data and set movie data is equal to use state, and it's going to be an empty array. Cool. And we're going to say use effect, and it's going to say const fetch data is equal to async try catch, and we're going to say const movie data is equal to await axios.get, and the same thing, we're going to say API/movie. We're going to say set movie data, and we're going to set it to movie data.results. And we're going to set loading here as well to false. Here we're going to say the same thing, console.log error set loading to false. So as you can see, there's kind of a pattern here. So here we're going to fetch that data as well. So there is a pattern here. So because of that, I'm just going to say const TV data set TV data is equal to use state. Awesome. And now for this use effect, I'm just going to copy this and place it in there. And the only difference here is this is going to be TV data and this is going to be TV. I believe it's called TV in the back end. Yep, TV. So TV, and this is going to be set TV data. This is going to be TV data. And here we're just going to fetch data. Cool. And yep, that's pretty much it. So that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so now that all this is set, when we come to our return here, now we can set things up. So now if we look over here, as you can see, we have item 1, item 2, item 3. Item 1, item 2, item 3. So this is just our current tabs. So without any change to it. So as you can see, this says item 1, item 2, item 3. This is just our label. So now what we want to do is we want to give it a background color and we want to center it. So actually, do we want to give it a background color? Let's see how it would look. So here you can decide to give it whatever background color you want. I'm just gonna say background.paper. And let's see what a padding of 5 would do. So let's go back here. Let's take out that padding. Cool. So here we have bottom 1. Let's see. Border color divider. That's fine. So here we have tabs, value unchanged, basic tabs. Okay, so for the tabs, let's go ahead and say centered. So now, as you can see, it's been centered. I don't like that line, so let's just take that out. Yeah, figured. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I don't want that line there. So I just took out that. So we're just going to have this box in tabs. Cool. I just don't like that line. You can keep it if you want it personally. I just don't like it. So what else? So now we can change the label. So the label, we want it to be trending. If you want it, actually, let's make it all caps. So trending movies. TV. So we go back here and that's what we have. We have trending movies and TV. Awesome. So let's see, what else do we have to do now within item 1. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pass in trending, and we're gonna be passing in props. So we're gonna say trending for loading. We're gonna say loading, and then we're gonna say trending data is gonna equal trending data.
Music licensing reimagined.
So here since we're gonna be going into the trending component and building that out there, we're just passing these props into it so we can use it within it. So here we're just gonna, actually that's fine, let's just go ahead and do this. This is gonna be movie, and it's gonna be loading. You know what, it's equal to loading. So I'm just gonna copy this. Cool. And now we can say movie data is equal to movie data. Awesome. And here we can state TV and paste that in there. And this would be TV data is equal to TV data. And just like that, we're done with our headline nav. So if we come back in here, as you can see, trending now states trending, movie states movie, TV states TV. And just like that, we're done with headline nav. Now we can go into each individual component and build out from that component. So for trending, now we can build out trending from trending. So here within trending, since we passed in the props called trending data and loading, we're just gonna get it here. And now you can see what you passed in and say console.log trending data. If you save that and we come over here, if we inspect this, since it's an not found for movie, interesting. So we have a 404 not found movie. Let's head on back to, first let's see what we named it in the API. Oh, we named it movies. So let's head on back to our headline and /movies. Let's see, is there anything else we named differently here? Nope, don't seem like it. So let's see. Now we have an Axios error. Why? Okay. Yep, that's a problem. So let's go ahead and let's find trending really quickly. Where's trending? Movie data trending. So what's the problem here? Oh, let's do this. Okay, now let's see why we're having that problem. So here we have fetch, trending, set trending results. We have an empty dependency, movie data, fetch data. Okay, first of all, this should do this. Okay. Let's see. Fetch data. Dependency is there. Dependency is there. Dependency is there. Okay. So let's see. All right. So it's no longer in an infinite loop. So we just forgot to place that empty dependency array within this one. So don't forget to put that in there. Is it this one or this one? Just make sure every single use effect has a empty dependency array within it, and we should be fine. So now if we console log, and we will fix this, so don't worry about it. So let's see. There we go. So if we console log, we see trend in there and we're straight. Okay, so let's head on back to to the IDE Visual Studio Code, and let's head on to our banner. Where is it? Cool, and then we're just gonna go to banner. And the problem is the reason we're getting this up here is because I decided to change this to 100 view width. So, like we had at the beginning in part 1, we're just gonna put this to full. There we go. So that's better. And then we're going to change this back down to 20%. Yeah, so let's see. That's still a little high. Let's make this 15%. See how that goes. 12%. Okay. Now let's see what it looks like in mobile. Cool, not too bad. So we just keep it at 12%. Awesome. So we keep it at 12%. And now if we head on back to headline nav, within this box styling, now we're going to give it that padding of 5. Oops. So now we're going to give it that padding of 5. And as you can see now, there's a little bit more space in between. And there's a bit more space. So we'll just keep it that way. So it looks a lot better. So I'll have to make that change in my actual project. So my main one, but we can do that later. I can do that later. So here you can see this console log works, and it's console logging not in the console this time, not in the terminal, but in our on our browser, because this is a client component. So when we console logged the data from our API and Banner, it showed up in our terminal because Banner is a server component. Hence why I try to show you the difference in both. So with all that digression out the way, let's head on back here and let's do this. Now we can say const. We want to create pagination also. So we're going to say const current page. And we want to say set current page. And we want to say it's use state. And our first page is going to be page number 1. We want to say const items per page and set items per page, which we're not really going to be using that. Set items per page is not really going to be used, but it's good practice to have both the items per page and the set items per page. So use state here is going to be 15. Here we're going to say open for our modal, and it's going to be set open. And we're going to say use state is false originally. Now we can say const selected title set selected. And you're going to see what all this is going to be doing in a second. Set selected title is equal to use state null const trailer key, and this is for the trailer, and we're going to say set set trailer key. And here we're going to say use state null. And then lastly, we're going to say show trailer. And for the most part, we're just going to be copy and pasting this, not trailer key, show trailer, into the other components. So you just have to worry about doing this once for the most part.
Music licensing reimagined.
False. Cool. 13, we're going to say const handle page change, and we're going to pass in an event and a value. And here we're going to say set current page value. Awesome. Yeah, it's fine. So here we're also going to create a function for click and open the modal. We're going to pass in the title here. So when we click open the title, we're going to say set selected title, and this is going to be title. We're going to say set open, and this is going to be true. We're going to say set show trailer, and this is going to be false. And we're going to say set trailer key, and this is going to be null. So basically, when you click to open the modal, all these stuff are set. However, when you click to close, so handle close, we're going to set all those things to false. So set open is going to be false. And then set selected title is going to be null. Then we can say set trailer key, and this is going to be null as well. And then set show trailer, and this is going to be false. Cool. Now, before we go any further, what we want to do is go over to our backend API, and we're going to create a new file, and this is going to be called trailer. No, new folder, not a new file. And this is going to be called trailer, and this is where we get our trailer for the movie, like our YouTube trailer. So let's go back to trending real quick, and we're going to write a function that's going to be posted to that route. So here we're going to have a post function. So we're going to say const handle play trailer is equal to a sync, and this is going to be media type and ID, and we're going to say try catch, and here we're going to say const response is equal to await axios dot post. So this is going to be a post method, and we're posting to /API/trailer. And what are we going to be posting? So we're going to send in the information as media type, and media type is going to be media. Let's do this. Media type and ID. So we're going to post those two things. So we're going to say set trailer key, and set trailer key is response.data dot trailer key, and we're going to state set show trailer, and this is going to be true. I'm going to catch, and this is going to say console.error failed to fetch trailer.
Music licensing reimagined.
Error. So what we're doing here, to reiterate, is we're going to create this function handle play trailer, and this is going to play when this function is called, we're going to be playing the trailer. So we're posting to this backend where we're going to write the logic in this backend in a second, but we're posting to the backend. This is the route, this is the backend route. We're posting in the media type, and it's going to contain the media type, and then we're posting the ID also. We're going to set the trailer key to whatever response we get from the backend. So it's going to be response.data.trailer key. That's what it's going to be called. We're going to set show trailer to true. And then for error, we're just going to do the console.error failed to fetch trailer error. Cool. So now we can focus on writing this backend trailer. We can focus on writing the logic for the backend trailer. So within API trailer, so we're in the route for the trailer. What we're gonna say is first we're gonna import that. Let's import Axios first, actually. So import Axios from Axios, and then we're gonna say const key is equal to process.env.api key. Now we're gonna say export a sync function post, and then we're gonna take the request as a parameter, and now we're gonna say try catch. And this is pretty standard still, so we're gonna say const. And remember in trending, when we pass these two properties, the media type and the ID, when we pass them over, so now we want to receive them within the post request. So we're gonna say const media type and ID is equal to await request. Okay. Request.json. So we're gonna see what this does in a minute. So we're gonna say const response is equal to await axios dot get, and
Music licensing
let's see,
reimagined.
let's go over to this, and let's go over to trailer, and then we're just gonna take this URL. I'm just gonna post it in there. Cool. So what this is saying is, now since we've already gotten this these two properties, now within our response we want to plug them in as media type here
Artlist
and ID over here. So we're just plugging it in there. So something's off. Oh, that's what. So it should be backslash. Okay. So we're just plugging it in there. So here we have to. So we're saying depending on the media type, which to get a trailer, it's usually movie. So we're gonna get the movie, and then we're getting the ID of that movie in order to get the video. So the ID is going to tell us what title we're looking for. The media type is going to tell us that it's a movie. And then after doing so, now we have to write a bit of logic. So here we're going to say const data is equal to response.data.
Artlist.io.
And now we want to state that to get the trailer, and trailer meaning the trailer for the video, for the movie, we want to say data.results, and we want to have a find. So it's going to be a that find function, and we're going to be passing in the video. So here we're stating that
Licensing
video type, we want to get the video type, and if it's equal to trailer, so we want the video type to equal to trailer, and we want it to state that the video site is YouTube. Cool. So here we're stating that this trailer, for this variable trailer, it's representing the video type of trailer, and the site is YouTube, because we're going to be using YouTube to view the trailer. So now we can come down to const trailer key
Artlist.io.
is equal to, if there's a trailer, then we want the trailer dot key from the API. If not, then we don't want anything. So we're not taking anything. So if there's a trailer,
Music
so if there
licensing
is a trailer, then we're grabbing the trailer key. So this trailer key would represent the trailer key. If there's no trailer, meaning there's no trailer for the video, then this trailer key holds on to nothing. Now we want to return that. So return next response .json, and we're just going to pass it as an object. So trailer key. Cool. And then we're going to state status
Artlist.io.
200. Catch error console.error failed to find trailer error.
Music
And then we want to
licensing
return
reimagined.
next response .json error failed to fetch trailer. And now this is going to have a status of 500. Cool. And just like that, we're done with our trailer API route. So that's pretty much all we're doing here. Now we can go back to trending. And as you can see, now we have, now you understand what the trailer key means. So we have this. Now we can go ahead and continue down. So now we can come down here, and we're going to state, first of all, there's something we missed. So in this import, there's a lot of things we want to import. So if we come down to, first of all, let's go to Chrome really quickly, and let's go to Google. And here we want to get YouTube trailer npm. So we want to get this called React YouTube. So just go ahead. So let's just use it this way: React YouTube npm. Then we're just gonna grab that, and we're just gonna install it as npm install React YouTube. Copy that, close it out, and let's just open something else here. cd and then we just paste that in there. So that's going to allow us to view the app, to view the video within YouTube. So that's all we need with that. Cool. Okay, so now I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna go over to trending on mine. Oh, wrong one. Cool, and I'm just gonna grab this whole thing, and then I'll explain what's going on. Cool. So within trending, we're gonna be using Axios, we're gonna be using React, we're gonna be using useState, and then I need you guys to import something called dialog from Material UI. But so you can just, since you already have Material UI downloaded, installed within your project, you can just say import dialog from @MUI/material/dialog and do the same thing for dialog title, do the same thing for dialog content. And then I need you to import stack, capital S, stack, and then it's going to be @material/material/stack, and that's pretty much it. And then we're going to import pagination from @MUI/material/pagination, and then we're going to import icon button from @material/UI/material/icon button. Same here with play arrow icon. It's @material/UI/icons -material/play arrow. We're going to import badge, which is just @MUI/material/badge. We're going to import YouTube from React YouTube, which is what we just installed. And then we're going to be using Axios. So already have Axios. It's going to cause an error. Awesome. Let's see. Play arrow cannot be found. Play arrow icon can't be found. Why is that? Okay. I'm probably missing some kind of, let's see here. Probably missing some kind of dependency from Material UI. So I have material. Let's see, material, icons, material, styled in React. So let's see. Material, styled, React. Okay, I'm missing a dependency. That's why. So let's see, what dependency is that? React styled, icons, material. Yep, we're missing icons. So let's go ahead and get Material UI icons. So Material UI icons. And then we're just going to install it. And that's it. Cool. Let's see. Okay, so as you can see, that cleared it up. So all we needed was the MUI icons. So we needed the icons, and that's pretty much it. So we're just gonna need all this, and you should be all set. Let's see. What now? Play arrow. Okay, let's close this out.
Music licensing reimagined.
Let's see. So why could it find it here? Or did I import it incorrectly? Let's try that again.
Artlist.io.
Okay, that was a bit weird. I don't know why I did that. So I guess I just have to paste it back in there. Let's do this, handle page change. Cool. All right, so once I'm just gonna do this so you guys can see it all. So this is all, these are all the imports you're gonna need, so you can go ahead and pause that and just import all of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll over here, and now we can state const. Now we want to create the pagination for it, so we're going to say const index of last item is equal to current page times items per page. And then we're going to say const index of first item is equal to index of last item minus items per page. And we're going to say const current items is equal to trending data dot slice index of first item, and we're gonna have index of last item. So this is, I've gone over this a couple of times for pagination within my project, so I'm just not gonna go over it this time. If you have questions on it, you can go ahead and ask in the comment section. But for the most part, what we're doing is it's the variable is explaining exactly what we're doing. We're grabbing the index of last item by taking the current page that we're on, which would be number 1, based on this, and then you're multiplying by items per page. For the index of the first item, you're taking the last item and subtracting it by the items per page. And then for current items, you're just slicing. So you're taking trending data, which is the data we got from the API. You're adding a slice object to it. And then you're going to say it's going to be slicing from the index of the first item to the index of the last item. So those are the data it's going to give back. So once we do that, now we're going to set up our loading. So if we have loading, then we want to state div class name flex justify center items center height screen width full, and then within this we want to say div class name. This is just going to be animate spin. It's going to be rounded. It's going to be full, height of 32, width of 32, border of 2, border bottom of 2, border green 500, and save. Cool. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're going with it. So, and now for our return statement, we can state cool. And within this div, we're gonna state actually let's make it a fragment first. And like I always say with the CSS, it's kind of, I'm not going to go over it much. So we're going to have width full, height full, flex wrap. And I'm just going to guess that you guys understand what's going on with the CSS here. Any questions, once again, you can go ahead and ask in the comment section. So current items dot map trending index, and this should not be that. Cool. And this should state div key is equal to index. Class name would be pattern of 2. Medium would be 20%. Width would be about 50%. We're going to capitalize everything. Overflow is hidden. Cursor is pointer. Transform hover scale 105, transition duration of 300, ease in out, hover shadow large.
Artlist.io.
Cool. Now we can include the badge, and the badge is basically
Music licensing reimagined.
so this is the badge. So that little icon here that shows the rating is what we're getting is the badge. So we're gonna say badge, and we're getting it from Material UI. So we say badge is badge content, and that's equal to trending dot vote average
Artlist.io.
to fixed 1. And basically to fixed returns a string representing a number in fixed point notation. So it's going to take this, return it to a string to the one one decimal point. So it's gonna whatever trend and vote average is. So let's see, is this still console logged? So let's console log this. And if you come in,
Music licensing reimagined.
what's going on now? Number 73. Oh, that's why we didn't finish this. Cool. So if we inspect this console, we look at the array here. Let's take this for example. As you can see, we have the media type is movie, vote average. So this is the average amount of votes, so 6.76. So to fixed 1 is saying take this, turn it to a string, and then return it as 6.7 because it's 1 to the decimal point. That's what it's saying. So yeah. So as you can see, it has it there right now. So these are all the fixed points. So that's all it's stating. So that's the badge content currently. Now we can go ahead and finish this up by stating color is going to be primary. Let's see. And then we have something called anchor origin. There we go. And it's going to state vertical. It's going to state where we want the position. It's top. And we want horizontal to be right. Cool. Now we can go ahead and create the styling. So for the styling, we're going to state
Music licensing reimagined.
MUI badge badge all right, top is -2% and right is going to be 50%. I'm going to transform to translate X 50% and background color would be red. So F44336. Color white. So let's see that did. Yep, there we go. Yeah, that looks about right. All right. Let's see. Cool. All right, so I'm just gonna take this star here. So you can go ahead and just find a star or whatever, and then you can use that. So I'm just gonna minimize this, and I'm gonna place this here. So this is gonna represent the star, as you can see right there. And let's see, why is it? Let's add the image first. So once we do that, we can see if there's an error somewhere. Yep. Okay, so now we have a div class name, and it's going to be flex column, items, center. Yeah, so for the star, you can use like an emoji or an icon, a star icon, anything. I don't necessarily remember where I got that. That's why I can't tell you where to go get it. But you can just use any icon you want that represents a star. Rounded, medium, transition, duration is 300. Ease in out. Awesome. Now the source is going to be actually we're just going to take the source from here. Cool. So source is going to be the same thing as the banner. So how we did the banner, except it's going to say trending.poster path, not banner, not a background path. So it's just going to be poster path. That's the only difference between this and the one in the banner. Yeah, and now we can say alt is equal to trending that original title, or trending dot title. On click is going to be the function handle click open. So it's the modal, and it's going to be trending. Cool. Let's see. All right, so what's the problem now? Let's see. Image on click. H1. Let's continue with this first, and then we'll debug it. We're going to say text center, medium font, medium text small. Hover text medium 500, transition duration 500. Awesome. All right, let's see why this is not right. Okay, this is why it's good to have a second one to debug with. Let's see. Okay, so index class name badge, styling. Okay, oh, that's a problem. That's one problem. Image, cool. Oh, okay, so I get it. All right, so rather than, I get it. So you're supposed to close it with badge. Not cool. So that fixed one thing. Now we need to fix div. Cool. Yeah, so you need the closing tag for badge. That's it. So as you can see, now it works. So now we can do this again. Cool. So now we have the closing tag for badge here, and all this is going to be within badge. We have our image, we have our H1. So within our H1, what we're going to put in there is we're gonna say trending dot original title, and this is coming all straight from the API data. So the reason I'm picking this is the reason I'm using all these or values is because sometimes the data comes out as an original title for the name, or it comes out as original title sometimes for the name, or just title for the name. Sometimes it states it's just called name, and sometimes it's just called original name.
Music licensing.
So you have to account for all of that. Okay, so now all the names have been accounted for here. So you have trending original title, trending title, trending name, trending original name. So now we can move on to the next header. So we're going to have an H2 here, and this H2 is going to state class name, text center, and we're going to say trending dot release date or trending dot first air date.
Music licensing reimagined.
Let's see. Trending release dot date. So that's a problem here. Release date. Oh, what did I call it here? Let me see. Trending dot release. Oh, underscore date. There we go. So now we have the date it was released. And now we can go down and create paragraph tag, and this is just going to be class name, text center, and it's going to say trending dot media type. Okay, so that's a movie, and just like that, we're pretty much done. Yeah, so we're done with that. Let's see if we can give this a bit more space, this div. So if you give this div pattern of 3, yeah, that works a little bit. There we go. So it gives a little bit more space. Let's see if we give this image a pattern of 2. Let's see. All right, we're getting somewhere. So let's see if we give it a pattern of 5. And we give the image a pattern of 3. Cool. So now let's head over here and let's see. We don't give it a pattern here at all. Okay, let's give it a pattern of 5 instead. Okay, it's looking a little better. Let's see what we can scale this to.
Music licensing reimagined.
105 is the smallest. Okay, that's fine. So we're just going to keep it at pattern of 3. Okay. Or That's fine. So we keep it a pattern of 6 here.
Artlist.io.
Here we can keep this a pattern of 6 as well. Awesome. And the image, we can give it a pattern of 4. Yep, that way. Now let's see what it looks like when it's bigger. Okay, that looks a little better.
Music licensing reimagined.
Yep, that looks a little better. So we'll just keep it at that. Cool. So we'll keep it at that. And now, let's see. After our div here, let's go ahead and create this. So we're gonna say div class name flex justify. Okay,
Artlist.io.
let's do this so we don't. Cool. Okay, so now we can state flex justify
Music licensing reimagined.
center with full pattern top of 10, pattern of 3. And now we're going to use stack, and we're going to say spacing is equal to 2. Now we're going to bring in pagination, and like I said, all of this is coming from Material UI. We're going to say pagination count is equal to, we're going to say math dot seal. There we go. So it returns the smallest integer greater than or equal to its numeric argument. So it's just going to return it's going to return it to the smallest integer. So that's all it's doing, or equal. Let's see. So now we're going to do that, and we're going to say trending data dot length. So that way we don't have a decimal. And then we're going to say items per page. Cool.
Artlist.io.
Okay, so let's scroll down here. There we go. As you can see, it's already down there. Now we're going to say on change, and we're going to give it handle page change. So we wrote that function earlier. Now we're going to say page is going to be current page, and then want a variant, and the variant is going to be outline. As you can see, now it's outlined, so it's a type of styling. Now we want the color to be primary. There you go. So primary is blue. And class name, we're going to state pagination custom, and it's going to be styling of let's see,
Artlist.io.
MUI pagination items page. Actually, you know what, I'm just going to copy this because it's a lot. So
Music licensing reimagined.
where is it? Okay, so we're just going to take this styling all the way down here. Cool. And basically it's just saying MUI pagination item page. So all this is saying for the color, you want the color to be black for the arrows, and then for the hover, black.
Artlist.io.
There we go. So let's see. So for number 1, we're on number 1 here. So Ghostbusters, the first in. Number 2, it's just these. So back to number 1. So that's a problem there. The number, the variant isn't changing when we click it. So let's see. So there's actually nothing wrong with it. I just have to refresh it and it works perfectly again. So yeah, I just have to refresh it and it's all set. So yeah, it's the localhost 3000 one. If you go to 2 now, it flips over. You go back to 1, it flips over. So you're straight. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the pagination portion of it. Now we just have to go down and create the modal portion of it. So now if you come over here right after the div, the closing tag, and we just want to say dialog, and we're getting this from Material UI as well. We're going to say open is equal to open, and on the close is equal to close, and max width is going to equal to MD. We're going to say class name. Actually, let's just say full width is equal to true. Now we can state class name is equal to rounded large pattern of 4. Now we want to say paper props, and this is going to be class name and this is going to be background white, dark background gray 800. Text here is black, dark text is white. So we're accommodating for dark and white and light screens. Now we can say dialog. Hold up. So what's going on here? Let's close dialog. That's what happened last time. Let's see. Dialog. So I want to close.
Music licensing reimagined.
Let's do this first. There we go. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. So we have paper props, and that's been done. Now we have dialog title. Let's do that. Cool. Dialog title, and class name here is going to be selected. Selected title. So if we have a selected title, then we want the media type.
Artlist.io.
So we're going to say class name, and here we're going to have the class name be selected title. So if we have a selected title, dot media type equal to TV,
Music licensing reimagined.
then the text should be 3.5 vmin. The font should be semi-bold. Cool. And text should be to the left. However, if we don't, then we want, however, if it's not TV, so meaning if it's movie, then we want the text to be 3.5 vmin. We want the font to be semi-bold, and we want the text to be center. Cool. So now what this means is, let's see. Okay, so we haven't passed anything. What just happened? So there we go. Nope, wrong one. So let's go back to localhost 3000. There we go. Let's close that out. Yeah, so right now nothing's showing. We haven't passed anything in there, but as you can see, our modal's working. So we don't have a close yet. Okay, so the problem is this should be handle close. Cool. So now if I click on this and I click out, it closes. So that's good to catch before we go on. And so we have this now. So what we want to do after doing this is now getting the actual information. So selected title, we want to say dot original title, or selected title dot title, or selected title
Artlist.io.
dot
Artlist.io.
original name, or selected title dot name.
Music licensing
Cool.
reimagined.
So now if we open it again, there we go. So now we have the name, and this is for a movie. As you can see, it's centered. We said if it was for anything other than TV, then it should be centered. If not, it should be text to the left. So let's find a TV. This is TV, and this should be to the left, text left. So we'll figure that out as we go. So
Artlist.io.
let's see. This, there we go. So it should be media type all lowercase. So there we go. So now for TV, this is to the left, and for movies, it's centered. There we go. So that works fine. Now
Music licensing.
we're done with dialog title, so let's go to the dialog content. Cool. So for dialog content, here we want the class name to be flex, we want it to be flex column, and we want the items to be centered. Within the dialog content, we're going to have a number of things. So we're going to say selected title dot media type is equal to TV.
Artlist.io.
And if we have selected if we have selected title dot poster path, then we want the image source,
Music licensing.
not source right now, we want the image class name to be with full, max width 35, height to be auto, margin bottom to be 4, and now we want the source to be, let's see if we can get the source from here. Let's see. Yep, let's just get the source here.
Artlist.io.
Cool. So that's where we want the source to be. So it's basically the same thing. We're just saying select the title, poster path. So it's the same thing we had at the top.
Artlist.io.
Yeah. And now we can have the alt to be selected title dot original title, or selected title,
Music
dot
licensing
title.
reimagined.
and now we can just close out of that. Cool. So now if we click on it, we have this for the TV. So this is only for TV right now. So we're saying for the media type, if the media type here is TV, then we want this poster. We don't want it to show a trailer like it would in a movie. We just want it to have the poster. So that's the first step in what we're trying to do. So so after doing that for the dialog content, then we can now state the p tag here, and this is gonna say so we're still within dialog content. So for p, we're gonna say class name margin bottom of 4, and we're going to say selected title dot overview. Selected title there we go. All right, as you can see, now we have the what's it called? We have the overview, so the description. Here we're gonna have the description over here. So same thing. So the only difference is for the TV show, we have a image poster. For the movie, we're just gonna have this overview first. Okay, so once we have this overview, what we're gonna do, so it's kind of a lot of code, so I'm just gonna copy it. So what we want to do now is write the logic for if it is a movie. So select it. So the last we did was if it was a TV show, media type is TV. So here we're gonna say selected title dot media type is equal to movie and we're gonna say show trailer and icon button. The color is going to be primary. I'm going to have it on click, and this is going to be, there we go, handle play trailer, selected title dot media type and selected title dot ID. Cool. Now we're just gonna have area label is gonna equal play trailer and a class name is equal to margin bottom of 4. Now we'll go ahead and close that, and we're done. Cool. So that's if there's no show trailer. So now we're going to say if there's show trailer and the trailer key and, well, if there's show trailer and their trailer key, then we want this div and we want to say class name is with full, flex, justify, center, text center, and we're going to have another div in here, and this div is going to be class name aspect. So this is the aspect ratio for the video, for the YouTube video. So aspect height 9 and the width is full. Okay, so now we're gonna bring in the YouTube. There we go. YouTube class name. We're gonna have width full, height full. There we go. And with that, we're all set. So let's check this out. So within our localhost 3000, if we click on TV here, there's no preview, there's no anything, it's just the image. Now, if you click on a movie, it should state, let's see, it should be showing, let's just make sure we have here, response.data, that trailer key. Do we have trailer key as capitalized over here? Okay, so I believe I figured it out. So first of all, let's put the space here, and then in here we need that play arrow icon.
Artlist.io.
Cool. Now let's see. There we go. So now we have that icon. So if we click on that icon, nothing happens right now. But at least we have that icon is what we're trying to figure out. So why that icon wasn't working first was what we have to figure out. Now we can
Music licensing.
console log this and see if there's a problem somewhere. So let's see. So what's the problem here? Okay, so let's just make sure on the mobile view it's not broken. Okay, that's too small for. So let's go back, and we made the padding way too small. So the image, the pattern of the image is too small. Let's try this now. Mobile view. Okay. Let's try this. Okay. And let's just take out all that padding, and then we can work with it in mobile later. Cool.
Artlist.io.
Okay, let's do this for right now. Any other padding here that we don't need?
Artlist.io.
See, badge. Image. No, it's for pagination. So this is pretty good so far. So we'll go ahead and fix that later. Let's just focus on the actual problem right now. So right now the play button isn't working. So let's figure out why. Okay, so when you come down to YouTube here, we're missing an important aspect. So it should say video ID is equal to trailer key. So let's go ahead over here. Let's refresh this really quickly. Let's see now. Okay, so that's still not the problem. Okay, but that's a good start. Okay, so I think I've found the problem. So right here, in the back end, we have video.site as YouTube instead of YouTube, so it should be capital. So now let's see if that works. So let's refresh it, and we'll come back and fix up this CSS, but let's just see. There we go. Now it worked. So now you can just click that. As you can see, it's playing. So that's awesome. And just to cancel it, you just go ahead and, close out of it. Once you open it back up, it's back. So that's pretty much all that is to it. So we just have to be mindful of how we write the code. But really nothing else major changed. That's pretty much it. So now that's it for the trending. I'm gonna run through. Let's see. Let's see which one. Let's do TV. So I'm gonna run through TV with you guys, and then we'll finish out the others on the next video. So for TV, let's go over to TV here.
Artlist.io.
Let's see. Cool. We're just gonna copy all of this. Minimize that. So, give me 1 second. Let me check something else here. So for TV, we're just gonna paste all this. So we're basically pasting the whole thing from that we just used in trending. The only difference is now we're using AI outline search and AI outline close, and we're getting this from React icons AI, and that's pretty standard in the projects we build when we're searching for things. So, and the difference here is for TV. Now let's head over to entertain. There we go. So for TV here, as you can see, there's a search component, and this is the search that we just imported, the search icon we just imported. So let's go head on back to trending. So entertainment, this is ours. Awesome. Now what we want to do is, now that we have in headlines, we've passed in the prop. So here we're going to say TV data, and we're going to pass in loading. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to create const TV search set TV search, and this is going to equal use state, and it's going to be empty string, because this is where we're going to be passing to the back end. However, there's still a couple of other things we need. So let's take this whole thing actually. So here, it's basically the same thing for pagination and the modal opening that we used in trending. The only new thing is we're going to be having this TV search, set TV search set to an empty string, and search data and set search data set to an empty array. Those are the only two things we're going to be adding. That's not within our trending. So for TV, another thing we should realize is that there's no trailer key here. That's because for TV, we're not showing a trailer, we're just showing the image. So with that, we can go ahead and just start writing. So now we can say const handle submit is equal to a sync e, and this is e.prevent default. And by looking at this, you should know we're going to be using a form. So now we're going to have try catch, and within this try catch, we're going to say const response is equal to await axios.post /API /search. Well, yeah, /search. Should we just call it search? TV search.
Music licensing reimagined.
Yeah, that works. And then we're going to be passing in the TV search. Cool. Yeah. So now we're going to say if response dot data dot results dot length is greater than 0, meaning we get some kind of result back, we get some kind of data back. We want to set search data to response dot data dot results, and then we want to set current page to 1. Else we want to set search data to an empty array, and we want to say window dot alert. We want to state TV search not found. So we're trying to tell the user that whatever you searched was not found. Now you can catch by saying console dot error occurred. Let's use backticks. Error occurred while fetching data. Error. And then we want to say set search data to empty string. We want to window dot alert no result found for TV search.
Artlist.io.
And here we want to say set TV search. There we go. Awesome. So right now, the only problem is we don't have this TV search API in the back created yet. So we're going to do that in a second. Let's just finish up this. So now we're going to say const handle page change is equal to event value and set current page. And this is for the pagination is value. Now we want to set for the modal, so handle click open is equal to, we're going to take in a title, and we're going to say set selected title, and this is going to be title. We're going to say set open, and this is going to be false. Here we're going to say set selected title, and this is going to be null.
Artlist.io.
Cool. Now we're going to create that pagination. So we're going to say const data to show, and this is similar to what we did in trending. We're going to say search data dot length is greater than 0, then search data or TV data. So data to show, if the search.data.length is greater than 0, then we want to use the search data, meaning we search something, we want to use what the information we searched. However, if that search data doesn't return anything, then we want to keep using our TV data. So if the search data.length, meaning we're not searching for anything, if search data.length is greater than 0, so whatever we type in is greater than 0, we want to use the information from search data. However, if search data.length is less than 0, meaning we didn't type anything into the field, then we're going to use TV data. Okay, so const index of last item is equal to index of last item minus is it last or first? Let's see. Let's pull up trending really quickly. Index of last. Oh yeah. So index of last item. Which one was I looking for? Last item. There we go. So index of last item is index of is going to be current page. Times items per page. Here we're going to say const index of first item is going to equal index of last item minus items per page. Okay, now we're going to say const current items is equal to data to show dot slice, and it's going to be index of first item and then index of last item. Cool. So for loading, we're going to say if it's loading, then we want to return let's just take it from trending because I want to write this over again. It's the same thing that we just did in trending.
Artlist.io.
Cool. Awesome. So now we have this set up. So what we need to do now is go into our API and create a new folder, and this is going to be called let's call it search TV.
Music licensing reimagined.
Yeah, search TV. Routes.js. So for TV, we're going to say search TV. And then within route, we're going to say import Axios from Axios. Const key is going to be
Artlist.io.
process.env.api key. Export async function post request const
reimagined.
TV search. So that's what we're getting. It will pass it in the front end. And this is going to be await request.json. And now we can say const response is equal to await axios.get, and the get here is going to be, let's see, let's get to that API really quickly. Cool. So it's going to be, let's make sure this is backticks. So it's going to be https:// search. So make sure this says search/TV, and then we pass in the query as TV search, and that's it. Now we can return next response .json. This should we should probably have had this as a whatever, response.data. So we should probably have this as a try catch just in case, just for error handling. Let's put it in there, and then console.log error. Here we could state return next response.json error fetching data. We can put a status of 500 server error here.
Music licensing reimagined.
So this is good enough. Let's just leave it at this. Cool. Let's see. Okay, so now we have this route created. So while we're at it, let's create our last route, which would be not search TV, it would be search movies. Yep, and then give that one a routes.js. Cool. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna copy all this for search TV. I'm gonna post it here. Except this is gonna be movie search. That's fine.
Music licensing
Movie search,
reimagined.
and this should be movie. Cool. And just like that, it's done. So we have both now, but we're only working with the TV for right now. So let's go into our return, and within our return, that's where like we're gonna start building our things out. So here, let's have a fragment. Cool. And here we're gonna say class name, flex, justify, center, items, center, height screen, width full. Cool. Now we're gonna have another div, class name, and here we're gonna have actually that's the wrong one. So it should be with full height, full flex, justify, end. We should have a pen of 3 and pen bottom of 10. Cool. Now we have input, class name, and for the input we're gonna say width is full, height is full, background we want it transparent since it's going to be on white, border is bottom, focus, outline none, and let's make the type going to be text. Placeholder, we're going to have it as search. The value is going to be TV search. Is that what it's called up here? Yep, TV search. Cool. So now we can create an unchange, and this is just going to be set TV search e.target value. Cool. So now this looks a little better. So here we're going to state if we have TV search, then we want to have the button type that stays button, class name, pattern of 1, on click, set TV search to empty. We want to set search data to an empty array. We want to set current page to 1. Did I spell it wrong here? Or did I spell it wrong here? Set current, there we go, page. Okay, so what it's saying is if we have the TV search, then we want a button that when we click it is going to set the TV to empty. So basically we want a close button, right? So if we're searching something, let's use this as an explanation. So within movies, if we're searching something, we want to be able to close it out here. That's what we're trying to do. So if we have Thor or something, we can go ahead and close it out here. That's exactly what we're trying to figure out right now. Well, not figure out, that's what we're building out at the moment. So we go ahead and where is it? Cool. We go ahead right here, and is it here or is it here? There we go. And now we can have that AI outline close. Class name is gonna be text large, text red, 500.
Music licensing reimagined.
We don't need this part. We can just kind of do that. Awesome. So now if we open up TV, there we go. So it's not fully done yet. So we have TV search, button type is this. So let's see, are we within the div? That's the problem. So the div should be here. So now let's see. There we go. So it's working perfectly. So before we go further, something I did forget to do. I did say this was a form, so I'm just going to pop that in there. So this is going to be form on submit, and then we're going to have this class name, and then down here we can have form. Cool. So because this is going to hold it on submit. So before that now, we can come down here and have this button, and this button is going to have the type, and this is going to be submit, and the class name is going to be flex shrink zero, and then it's going to be background green 500. We're going to have a hover effect, background green 700, border green 500, hover background, well, hover border green 700. We want the text to be small. We want the border to be 4. want the text to be white, padding Y of 1, padding X of 2, and we want this rounded. And what we're going to be plugging in there is the AI outline search. And this is going to have the class name of text large. So now if we take a look at it, it's right there. So that's what we're looking for. Awesome. So now we can go ahead and proceed writing out the other full div. So div class name with full height full. So what we can do is this actually, so we can see it simultaneously in action with full height full. Let me know how you guys want the screen to be. Is it half and half, or it's up to you. Flex wrap, and then within it we can then say current items dot map trending, and then it's gonna have an index. Cool. Now we can have a div here and a div here. So this div is going to be key of index, class name, padding of 2, medium, width 20%. You know what? This is pretty much the same thing as what we did with trending. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy it because it's gonna take a lot of time, and this is exactly what we just did. So I'm just gonna go in, just fit this in there. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in here and copy this because it's pretty much the same thing. Rather than typing all this out again, from badge to badge, I'm just gonna copy all that, and I'm just gonna explain it, because it's practically the same thing we had. So here it's the same exact thing. So we're just gonna have the image. Where is it? So yeah, so we have we're mapping through the data, and we're gonna, so when we map through it within that current items, within current items, we're going to have the badge like we did last time, and then we're going to have trending.vote. So this technically shouldn't say trending anymore, it should say TV. So let's put TV instead of trending. I'm just going to change everything to TV.
Music licensing reimagined.
So let's change this all to TV. And the reason we're doing so is just to differentiate between the different components. Okay, so TV, trending. So there's still a trend in there. Okay, TV.
Artlist.io.
Cool. Okay, so let's do this. Trending. All right, that's it.
Music
Or is it?
licensing reimagined.
Okay, that should be all of it. Awesome. So that's all of it. So yeah, that's all we're doing. We're just taking all that and we're just popping it in there. So we're gonna map through current items, and we're using TV as the data that's coming back. So we're gonna input all that within badge. So badge content will be TV.vote average. So literally the same thing we just did in trending. We're just changing everything that says trending to TV pretty much. And there you go. You have the same exact thing. So that's pretty much it. And let's see. Now we have to just work on the dialogue, which we've done before. So I'm just going to copy that as well. So
Music
right
licensing
here,
reimagined.
134. Cool. So right here, we're just gonna grab all of this. Okay, and we're gonna paste that in there. Cool. So let's just make sure there's no trending. Cool. So we're just taking all that, and we're creating a pagination. So here we're creating a pagination. It's the same exact thing that we had in trending, except here we're using TV data. So here we're just going to be doing the same thing. It's literally the same thing, just nothing changing. The only change that would be there is the trending data. So let's see.
Music licensing
Yeah,
reimagined.
handle close. So this wouldn't. So did we create a handle close? Oh, we had handle click open, but we never created a handle close. So it's the same thing as trending. Once again, I don't want to write that out. Let's just go to handle close, copy that. Voila. So there we go. So now we have a trending. We have a handle close. We click. Okay, so our modal is not working right now. Let's see why. Yeah, so if you come over to handle click open, set open should be true, not false. Cool. So now if I click on that, so now we're having this problem. So let's see. Okay, what could possibly be the issue here
Music licensing
in dialogue?
reimagined.
Okay, so it seems like the problem here would be this. So let's see. There we go. Yeah. So the problem was we were also setting the set selected title to null. So it was counteracting, it was countering the set selected title to title. So now it's all set. So that's pretty much it. TV doesn't use trailer. So we're all done with TV. Let's see if we go to 2. As you can see, 2 works just as fine. Yep, so we're all set. Let's see. Now let's actually do movies really quickly, because movies is pretty much the same thing. Let's go over to movie, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take TV. I'm gonna copy all of this, and I'm just gonna make it work for movie.
Reimagined.
So let's take that, and we're gonna make it work for movie. So here we're gonna change this to movie search. Set movie search. That's it for that. Search movie. Let's see. Let's make sure that's what it's called. Search. Search movie. Yep. Oh, search movies. Cool. Now this would be movie search. And we're gonna set where is it? Set movie. Cool. Okay. Now let's look for any instance of TV, and we're just gonna change it to movie. Set movie search. This would be movie search. This also would be. There we go. Change this to movies. So we're just going to change all this to movies.
Music licensing
So any instance of
reimagined.
TV gets changed to movies. Cool. and this would be movie, and this would be
Artlist.io.
movie. So let's see. There we go.
Music licensing reimagined.
Okay, now let's see if that worked. There we go. So, okay. So now the only difference is, rather than have for dialogue, our dialogue is going to be a little bit closer to trending than it is to TV, because TV doesn't have trailer. So I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the dialogue for movies, which is going to be eerily close to that of trailer, of trending. So I'm just going to grab for dialogue to dialogue.
Music licensing
Copy that.
reimagined.
I'm gonna paste that in there, and as you can see, it's pretty much the same thing. It is the same thing as dialogue. The only difference is, the only difference is we're not going to be using a ternary operator or a condition statement that states if we do have TV as a media type. That's the only thing we're going to be taking out, because for movies, the only thing that's going to be rendering are movies. There's no TV, so we don't have to filter it. So with that, now for our here, we need also to get
Music licensing reimagined.
let me get this. Yeah, so we're missing a couple of things. So we're missing the trailer and the trailer key. So that's all that we're just gonna pop in there and save it. So now let's see, does that actually do anything for us? Okay, icon button, we're missing that. And these are all things you can get within the, you know what, I'm just gonna grab everything in here, and this is everything that would be within trending as well. So except for the search, and that you can get from TV. So they all kind of resemble each other. So now for the movies, if I click on that and I click on this, so now I have one error, and the error, I know already why, but we can just check console.
Music licensing reimagined.
Handle play trailer is not defined. That's pretty much, that's all it is. So handle play trailer is going to be handle play trailer. There we go. We didn't create that function, so what we're gonna do is just grab that function. Once again, that function is within trending, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Let's just go ahead and minimize that, and we're just gonna paste it right here. Cool. And then we'll close that. Once we come on here, boom, there we go. And let's try it for Godzilla.
Music licensing reimagined.
Hold on now. Okay, so we just had to. Huh, that's interesting. So it's holding on to the state. Give me 1 second. Let's just make sure.
Artlist.io.
Okay, so it's not doing that here. It's only doing that there. Let's see. Let's try this. Okay, it's only doing that there. So there's an issue somewhere. Let's try it again.
Music licensing reimagined.
Okay, so there's a problem there where it keeps playing the same same thing. So let's see. Okay, we'll post into trailer, that's fine. Search movies, movie search, that's fine. Okay, so the problem here is we're not clearing it out on open and close. So I'm just going to paste this in there. So it says set show trailer to false when it's open, and then set trailer key to null. And then upon close, we have to clear it out again.
Artlist.io.
So we'll do the same thing here. And set trailer key here is null, set show trailer here is false. So now if we go back, and this is our localhost 3000, if we go to movies, and we click this, Ghostbusters, we see Ghostbuster, we close it out, now we come to Gorilla X Kong, that's what we have here now. And then if we come over to Godzilla -1, that's what we have here now. So okay, so now let's see for our final test. If we say TV show, let's say Merlin, we search that, and as you can see, everything is to Merlin. There's nothing in two. Now if we close, it resets back to default for movies. If we say Thor, as you can see, it sets to Thor. And then we can go to number 2. So I guess if it doesn't have an image, it just shows you, well, it doesn't, it's not, I guess. So for the alts, it sets it to the name, and that's pretty much it. And that's it. So that was number 1, number 2. So for those two, if there's no image, it just sets it to the name of the movie, I guess. And then back to number 1. Cool. And then we can just close out of that. Yeah. So there now the only thing that remains is to work on our location, and that's going to be Google API. On the next one, we're going to be working on that. So right now, let's go ahead and just save this. So everything is saved. Yeah, so that's practically it. So, all right, guys. So I hope you are enjoying this project. So like I said, we only have that last part, the location part. That part we're going to be using Google's API. So I'm going to be showing you how to use Google Places to build that. So like I said in the first video, we were able to bring it to 3 parts. So the third part is definitely the last part. Any CSS, I'm going to work on it off screen, and then if there's anything major or any change that's going to make the UI a lot more interactive or a lot more aesthetic, then I'll like present it and show it to you guys. But for the most part, we're just going to be working on the location using Google Places API. And yeah, so for our first project for Next.js, I think this is a pretty cool project if you ask me. Hope you guys are enjoying it though. If you do enjoy it, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe in the don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you have questions, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. I'll try to get back to you as quickly as I can with the right information. But yeah, like with all that said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Music
Peace.
licensing.